So you caught the behavior, you questioned the why. Now it's time for us to dig deeper. Welcome to Pillar 3, the outdated belief. This is healing in real time. And I'm your host, Tori Littlejohn. So let's get into it because the initial why, which was last week, is the protection. And if we're looking at this like it's a house, the belief is like your piping system. Like, all right, hear me out. So, pillar one, the automatic behavior was like, I don't know, like your doorbell, like your power. I'm still trying to figure that out. But, but the initial why is the protection. It's your roof. It's what you hit first. But maybe that's the doorbell. It depends on where you're coming from. If you're coming from the sky, it's the roof. But if you're coming from the street, I guess people wouldn't be coming from the sky. But still, the sky made sense to me. But anyway, don't worry about that. And if you didn't know, now you know I have ADHD and a little autism. We love the isms. It's a little seasoning, The isms is like Larry's. But anyway, so the belief this week would be the piping system, your water system. You know what I mean? You don't see it. You don't check your water system often. It's not like the air filter or something. It's something that you're not even paying attention to. Okay, which some of us probably not paying attention to the air filter either, but it's probably why you got all that mucus. But anyway, anyway, because this is, we're not shaming. I'm just saying. We're not shaming. I'm just saying, because people might be me. Okay, every time they offer that little thing, and do you want to change this? Just change my oil, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. That's it, right? Because why take if you in there already? You done took the thing out. You telling me it's gonna cost me how much? Like, just throw it in there. Like, what? What are you talking about? But anyway, I digress. That piping system, you don't check it, but it determines how everything flows. Like, I promise you, something going on with my piping in the top because at the bottom, and I don't even know. Anyway, I'm just saying, my showers don't be as hot as they could be, okay? Because I took a shower in my mama's house, and that thing was piping hot, and mine's be like, it's warm, like let's do it. Like it's different though, it's different. But anyway, I digress. See, the thing is, most of us never check our piping systems, the water systems, the filter systems, none of the systems, even our actually day-to-day system. We never check it. We just out here on autopilot, essentially, automatic behavior. Especially if we grew up surviving in apartments. Like, I was raised in apartments, house here and there, but pretty much apartments. We didn't have to worry about no systems. We didn't have to worry about no systems. You grew up in survival mode. You went to apartments. We're just grateful to have water, period. We're just grateful to have a roof, period. Options, luxury. Who who doing that? Who doing that? You don't even you don't have to question anything when you're in survival mode. You're not able to. You're just trying to survive. But when you move into a new house, that's different. Because if the pipes are old and they start leaking, then you have a problem. Then you're forced to see the problem. So you're not reacting to the moment, you're reacting to the belief until you're forced to see that as a problem. Okay, so let's just do a little recap. You know what I'm saying? For our newbies, in this episode, we are breaking down pillar three. Drop my pen. Pillar three, the outdated belief. But let's recap just to regain focus and to catch up our newbies. Hey, y'all. So, a lot of things can happen in a week. So I'm glad you're back with me. And I hope you're ready because this is going to be a journey. But we can handle it. We got this. We got this. So, pillar one, let me check my notes because I don't want to mess up. So, pillar one, we were talking about the automatic behavior. And that's essentially what happened. What was the action? What was the behavior that you automatically did that was so normal? And then pillar two, I thought I heard something. Pillar two is the automatic why. And that's why you think it happened. It's what you tell yourself. It's what you tell other people why you did what you did. But that is not always the actual reason. That's not always the belief. I am hearing something, but I think it's outside. Okay. Anyway, I digress. So pillar two, like I was saying, is the initial why. Why you think you did, whatever that reaction, whatever that behavior was that you did, why did you do that? Overall, awa- awareness without belief work is um hold on y'all, because I had it. Hold on, let me check my notes. I had it. What was I saying? No, I mean it's like the train was on the track and then it disappeared. It went to Hogwarts. Ciao. Okay, no. Awareness without belief. Basically, you need belief work. I just lost my train of thought. Okay, what was I saying? Awareness without belief. Y'all, okay. Essentially, it creates these loops of release. It's without awareness. What was I about to say? That is so crazy. Awareness without beliefs. I mean, it creates loops of relapse, loops of release. It's you are aware to something, you have clarity in some area, and then you relapse. You try it again, you aware, you feel clarity, relief, relapse. And it creates this loop. I don't know exactly what I was gonna say, but that's essentially what needed to be said. So thank you for bearing with me through that difficult time. But this is where patterns actually break. With us actually getting into this, when I got into belief work, that's when the patterns started to like, okay, but then I still had to get the energy up out of there. And we're gonna get to that later. And I don't know what pillar it is, but it's called the somatic score. Absolutely. We're gonna get to that. This pillar and the somatic score is what helps me constantly. I constantly come back to that. Okay, I constantly have to reinvent myself at every new level. It's like I gotta break more beliefs. Every time I think I need to, I'm good. I don't have to break no more beliefs. I get to a new level and I'm like, hold on. Am I qualified to be here? Imposter syndrome. And I have to break more beliefs. I promise you. It's going to be forever. You're going to get to a point where you don't give a fuck. But at the same time, when everything slow down and in stillness, you still care. But that's when you got to break the belief the most because you don't want to get to a certain point and then get stagnant because you didn't want to do the work. And some people do. And I have an analogy where I talk about how a lot of us, especially as melanated people, we start outside of the field, outside of the stadium. We start outside of the stadium. We don't have the resources, we don't have the knowledge, and then we have to climb up. The gate is locked. We have to climb up the stadium, get over the stadium's walls, and then go down the arena and onto the field. And then we can play the game. But some people don't attempt to climb. Some people climb, get comfortable, and they stop. And they just camp out on that level on the outside, peeking through, watching. Some people get all the way up to the top and then they stop and they never go over. And so they toggling between not having and having, being exposed to and not being exposed to, in and out, belief, no belief. And then some people get down in the seats and they say, well, I ain't necessarily wanted to play. I just wanted to watch, wanted to see what they were doing. I wouldn't want to do it. It was seemed like a lot of work. I'm good. And they get them a seat and they get comfortable. And there's very, very, very few who make it out on that field. And some people make it out on that field just to say, hey, I made it out on that field. And then they don't play. Okay? Some of us get injured. Just everything I was riding on was on this game. I got all the way here now and I got injured. And I can't even do the rest of my contract. I don't know. Okay, I don't know sports, but this is the analogy that always comes to me when it comes to belief. So I'm just going to share with you. And then those are people. I'm talking about out of the few that made it to the field, even fewer play the game. They get in the game and they change it and they change things for their lineage. So which one are you? I always think about which one am I? And when I see myself staggering the wall, I get my ass up. What Monique tell Precious, get your fat ass up. I get the fuck up. I go in the gym. I get the hell up. I go wash my face. I say, I'm sleepy. I don't want to do it tonight. Go wash your fucking face. Go wash your face. Nobody taught me hygiene as a child. As an adult, it's not uncomfortable. It's just not a habit. It's not a thing. I'm used to just, all right, I'm tired and go to bed. Get up and go wash your face. Okay, you should have been wash your face. Now I have an alarm. It come on at 10:30. Wash your face. Don't give a fuck what you know. Go wash your face. Okay? Whatever you're doing is not gonna be that fucked up. That you just gotta wash your face again. So just wash it now. Okay? Just do that now. And I'm building a habit. Sometimes the alarm go off, I'll be like, oh my God. I just sat down, got my plate. Sometimes I'm not eating. I try to close the kitchen at 9. It don't always. You work on one belief at a time. You break one thing at a time. I have real bad belief of like, you can eat dinner. I'm talking about the full dinner. I eat like a full meal. I ate all day. I eat the full meal at 10 p.m. It used to be 2, so we're doing good. It used to be 2 a.m. We're doing good. 10, I'd be in the bed by 2. Yeah, about 2. But anyway, I digress. The beliefs, once you actually learn how to release them, it releases way more because it's where the patterns are. That's what breaks the patterns. So the outdated belief, this pillar is the internal story you formed during any moment of stress, rejection, abandonment, anytime you've ever felt shame or just crazy unpredictability in your life or just intense emotion. Any Anytime any of those things have happened, usually a belief about around that situation becomes true. I'll give you an example. I don't know why the fuck this just popped in my head. But before my child, before Kenji, I was pregnant with Lila. Okay? Lila was 23 weeks. She could have made it had we got the Duke. Duke probably would have, you know what I'm saying? Duke in North Carolina, baby, the hospital. Oh, okay, because you got to know that the cert is levels to everything. I'm telling you guys. But anyway, if you know, you know. But we went to Reston. So oh wow, no, the experience was not, because as a black woman, the experience was not, but it was half and half. It was half and half. It was half and half because I was a black woman. So some people were compassionate to the situation but didn't know what to do, and some people were avoidant to the situation because they didn't know what to do. And it was simply that I had preeclampsia, so she didn't make it. And to some people, that really first child, you in a relationship with the father, like all the things. I had finally got to a state of acceptance, like, okay, I'm about to have a baby. And it was like that moment when I released and I was okay to have the baby is when all of the things started happening. But instead of me saying what was me and what's wrong with me and going down that type of rabbit hole, I said it was a learning experience. It was something meant. Like she sacrificed her life for me to go out there and continue to grow, to continue to be who I wanted to be for her, to be able to build myself up so that I could support her, so that I could show up for her. That it was meant to be that I podcast. That's after that I started my first podcast, the AMH podcast, a melanated hypothesis podcast, which was really more like my it's like a rapper when he first get out, when a rapper first make it out, they rapping about what they've been through and like it was like you seeing my healing. And now this is me coming back and showing you like the actual steps and results that really helped me shift at every moment. But first, it was just like me explaining to you the knowledge that I had. Now I can have implementation, so I can give you full embodiment. But at that time, I was learning to embody. And now I have embodied. There's still things that I'm trying to, because I ain't got the body out of you. You know what I'm saying? But like, as far as the neuroscience and the beliefs and all of these pillars, I have put to work and it has gotten results. So now I can say, I does this. I mean, it's been 10 years, but you got to be doing something, right? So my belief is that happened for a reason, that I was supposed to grow with her, that she was with me and I'm growing for her. And I'm a little stubborn and I'm the type of person that needs to touch the stove while it's hot. So now I have Kenji. But it was a gap and I have Kenji. But now I'm actually, when he came, it was like, I'm good. I'm ready to go. I know everything. And now you see it in my results and how I raise my son. And people are always telling me, I love the choices that you're making, that you're a good mom and da da da. It's like, I don't know what a good mom is, but I am focused on his development. And I get my ass up and I do stuff with him and I'm present with him and I make sure that he has a team of people, paid or not, a team of people who can give him what I can't, because I know my capacity is limited. And I know I'm taking a big chunk of it for myself. I'm going to get mine, okay? And then y'all can eat. Like what? I'm going to eat. And then y'all can figure it out. Y'all can take what's left. But instead of me telling him, sorry, go figure it out after I've taken all my energy for me and the job or whatever else, I make sure to have him, I make sure that he has an army of people. And I stay on that. And that's how he gets what he needs too. And speaking of him, I'm just gonna check my camera because I want to make sure he's okay. He in there sleeping, and that's what we like, okay? But I digress, child. I digress. Moving right along. I hope I'm speaking loud enough. I hope that I'm being heard because I feel like I'm kind of whispering, but I also don't want to be like, hey, like, okay, but I feel like my voice went up a little bit. But I want this to be a chill. I don't want to be like too turn in this episode because this is really, it's a hard episode when you're actually talking about embodiment. It's it's an uncomfortable situation. And I'll tell you why. Because most of it formed in our childhood. So it means you really have to go back. And there's something called CPTSD, childhood PTSD, where um, those moments of stress, rejection, unpredictability, shame, abandonment, or just an intense emotion, moments or emotions or whatever, over constantly shaped a belief. There were intense moments. Like I vividly remember a fight between my mom and my dad, and she sliced his 4 fingers, and I thought he cut her. I just saw blood, so I went in my little room and I got the little yellow, big ass yellow bat, and I was hitting him with it. He took that shit and he bit that shit, threw me over his shoulder, and he put me back in my room. Like, bruh. And then when I got older, he showed me his knuckles where she sliced him. And she had these intense reactions just like I did. And I was like, oh, interesting. Because before I started doing belief work, I was having very intense reactions to people where, you know what I'm saying? I allegedly ran somebody over. I just, allegedly, you know? But there is a fact that they are good. But allegedly, it was me behind the wheel, and I don't know what happened there. Darling, I don't. So we'll have to talk about that later. But there were signs, and it started with things that I saw to be true or thought were true in my childhood. Intense moments, unpredictability, emotional neglect. Oh, that's a big one. Yeah. It started in my childhood, and the belief that I created around that emotional neglect is my son. I don't play. I don't play. He cannot be by himself too long. If he wake up, I'm ending this this podcast. Okay, I'll come back. I can pause it and come back. I sure will. What? Because emotional neglect is like I want to be present without my phone, giving him what he needs developmentally. Like you are worth that. I want him to know. Children, I believe that children should have everything because of my beliefs that gifts don't buy love, and that children don't ask to be here. So regardless of what's happening in our world as adults, we need to get down to their level and see them, make sure they're seen and heard. And that comes from the beliefs that I never wanted anybody to feel those ways that I felt in my childhood. And it has nothing to do with my parents. I love them. We, as people, as adults, have to grow our capacity. It's not a shame thing. It's not a right or wrong, or they should have did this, or they just like we right now are going through whatever affected us so that we can change those beliefs. They needed to do that. So we never want to blame them. That don't mean that it didn't hurt. Two things can be true at the same time. That don't mean that it didn't hurt and it didn't affect us in an adverse way. So we have to be okay with giving grace to them, the parents, and ourselves as people and as parents ourselves. Because there are some times where Kenji he be having me fucked up. Okay. And I don't be getting too deep into the fucked up because we live in a 3-story house. You can find somewhere to go. Don't even worry about it. What you say on 11 basketball? You stay. I'm gonna go. Like, what? I'd be like, Mama's gonna take a timeout. Mommy needs to take a thinking break. We don't call it timeout. A thinking break. Because I don't want it to be bad. It's not bad to be alone. Sometimes you need to go take a moment. I need you to go think. No, you can't have no tablet. No, you can't have no. He'll find something in there to do though. He get in there, all of a sudden I hear nursery rhymes playing. Like he'll find something. But it's like I want you to think. Think about what's, you know what I'm saying? Think about it. I'm really big on that. because there's too many grown ass people that can't critically think. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? he just he just be like, oh, okay, I see, I see what's happening here, and they grown, right? And we're gonna talk about it later too, because the world that we're living in right now, the beliefs, even the beliefs that what is normal in the U.S., for example, the beliefs that a man should lead, the beliefs that the Bible is law. Like people are breaking down so many different beliefs because they're all beliefs. Somebody said this is what you believe, and we said okay, and now people are breaking it down, and it's almost scary. It makes you question everything. Well, who am I without this? Well, who am I if I don't practice this? Well, who am I if I don't? Right? It's so interesting the times right now. And I am just a fly on the wall. I'm not saying to sway any worth way. I'm just saying look at your beliefs. I'm not saying which ones. I'm just throwing some things out there. I'm just throwing some things out there. I love to play angel's advocate. I'm just a catalyst. And I want to make you think, just like I do my son. I want him to think. It's not about you being right or wrong. It's not about mommy being upset or whatever. It's about you being able to think it through. If you weren't able to think it through this time, then I see that we need to do something so that you can think it through next time. That's all that is. That's that's all that is. But I digress. I digress. I'm just happy. I'm just happy, y'all, because I feel like I'm in my purpose right now. Yeah, this is just a side note, just flag on the play. I feel like I'm in my purpose. I feel like I prayed before I started to my creator. Okay. And I just wanted my creator to speak through me and to you. And I hope that it lands. Okay. So anyway, a belief. Let me calm down because I'm hyped right now. I'm hyped. It might be because I made a white chocolate mocha and I put 2 shots of espresso in there. But okay, let me calm down. Sometimes y'all do that. Let's take a little breath. Cause we ain't even gotten to it yet. We haven't even scratched the surface of what I have in store for this particular episode. So this might be a little long, but let me read my notes. So a belief can form at any point in life, not just childhood, at any point, whenever you are experiencing a adverse emotional reaction or your nervous system and your nerve I had to burp. And your nervous system makes a it needs to okay, let me start over. Basically, our foundation as children is where a lot of our beliefs come from. But a belief can be created at any point in life, at any age. It's essentially whenever you have experienced an adverse emotional reaction. And then once that happens, your nervous system immediately needs to make sense out of it. It needs to know, like, what the fuck, what just happened? Excuse my language, what just happened? And yeah, like, it was a dipper. Like, it just needs to, it just needs to make sense out of it. Beliefs are conclusions your nervous system makes in the moment of intensity. You know, like if you see a car, you drive by a car, it's on fire. You're like, oh, the gas pump blew up. Like, I don't know. You just essentially you're constantly going through life, and your nervous system is putting meaning to things. If that makes sense. And um, I feel like I like the answer. Okay. So your subconscious doesn't even realize you're forming these meanings. Yeah, okay. Your subconscious doesn't even realize that you're forming these meanings, but your nervous system always has to make a meaning to something. For example, you might um you might minimize yourself. Oh, you might minimize yourself and your needs so much that it feels normal. You minimize yourself. No, I'm good. No, I don't need anything. I'm low maintenance. I don't ask for much in relationships. But you don't even connect the dots. You don't even connect the dots that underneath those behaviors of no, I don't need anything. No, I'm good. Oh, I got it. Underneath that, the belief says those behaviors mean that deep down inside, you feel like your needs are a burden. You don't want to burden anybody. You got it. You good. You don't ask for too much. You leave things how they was or better. But those beliefs are not a personality trait. They are survival conclusions. With that, something had to do. It's essentially something you had to do, and then it became normalized, like eating pig feet, because that's what was available. My brain is moving too fast. Eating pig feet, like that's what was available at the time when people was eating pig feet, and then it became normal. I ain't never had that. Never. Never. You hear me? I I didn't eat pork rinds. I didn't eat pork first of all. But when I ate pork, I wasn't eating pork rinds. Okay, I moved to North Carolina in my 20s. They offered me some pork shoulder. I said, "Oh, we gotta start eating that." From DC. This is not man. I mean, they eat all pig feet, ears, butt, shoulder, chest, back, tail. It's amazing. But it's like that's not good. That's not good. you you eating that and that's not good. I understand. Ham be hitting. Bacon too. I don't even eat bacon no more, bro. Turkey bacon be hitting when you put a little coconut brown sugar on it. Oh, baby. Put it in the oven. Put it in the oven. It hit the same as the bacon. I'm telling you. Turkey bacon, coconut brown sugar. I'm t- what? Some eggs. So good. But anyway, I digress. Those are my beliefs. But like eating pig feet or paying for water because that's what the environment that you in requires. Like some places, water is just free. It's just water. It's water. It's water. Other places, you got to pay for everything: air, everything, air filters, everything. You have to pay for everything, and unfortunately, it's the norm. But is it normal to pay for water? That's something that's natural. Like, should we have to pay for that? Like, I could see if like water wasn't everywhere. Like, it's it's you get what I'm saying? Okay, but survival conclusions aren't meant to be your personal identity. Like, it's not meant for you to believe that forever. At some point, we should always, even if we go through our beliefs, we should continue. Every time we level up, every time you get a new job, get a new this, get a new that, every time you want, every time you desire, you should be going through your beliefs, paying attention to all of your reactions. Oh, why I do it like that? Oh, why I do it like that? Oh, why did I just say that? You should, oh, because that is going to help you get to the next level quicker. If you believe that you should only be a VP and not a COO, you can stay a fucking VP and not be a COO. If you believe that you should only work at Taco Bell and you should just become the shift manager and then the general manager, that's all you're going to. Now, granted, this is somebody's life. I'm not, nothing is good or bad. I'm just saying, whatever you believe is true. If you believe all niggas ain't shit, every nigga you meet gonna be shit. If you believe all women is sneaky individuals, Which Biggie say, shiesty individuals. Every woman you meet gonna be a set 'em up type of dude, a woman. You not never gonna meet nobody that, because that's what you attract and that's what you believe to be true. So the universe is doing what you ask. Oh, let me bring this person that ain't shit. Let me bring this person in. If that's what you're attracting, like, we don't understand. I keep looking it up because I have a sign right here that says, what you imagine you create, what you feel you attract, what you think you become. And I guess this is the oh, okay, I see what you did there. Talking to God. But because I ain't never did that. This episode is about belief, and these are about belief. And that's essentially, like, even me, like, I got all these sticky notes around my desk everywhere. My last episode, um, episode first of all, this episode name wrong right now. It really confused me. This is episode 6. Yes. This is episode 6. I wrote 3. I'm going to change that. But this is episode 6. So in episode 5, I was having some issues. Okay. But I kept the ball rolling. I took a little break, came back. I kept it rolling. And I kept going back and forth with myself, like, should I re-record it? No, because I am, what it say on this paper right here? I am improving myself, not proving myself. Like, I want this information to be out, but it may not be perfect. And if you can't receive it in its form, that's okay. Once it continues to grow, you may catch it, come back around and catch it. But I am proving myself right now. I am doing something for me, for God, for you, but for me mostly because I have to become someone completely different than I've always been. If that's hitting, let me know. Let me know. Clip that. See, the thing about it is, the belief may keep your nervous system safe in that moment, in those moments, but it may not be serving who you are becoming now. And that's why we have to continue to go over our beliefs at every level, because it could have been serving you in the past level. But now that you're on this level and you're going after this new thing, you have to evaluate again your beliefs. You have to then evaluate your beliefs initially, because the beliefs that you are given when you jump off the front porch and you an adult in this world is your parents' beliefs. So now you got to evaluate your parent and reparent yourself and retrain yourself with beliefs. And then you continue on as you grow up and you go through things, you'll start to form more beliefs. So that should be a part of life, right? Is doing belief work. Like, this should be taught in schools. I don't understand. Like, what that's a whole other conversation. They don't want us to know anything. But it's okay. It's okay. Because I'm here and I'm going to make sure that for me and mine, for those who are assigned to me, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this shit. It's not easy, but it will be done. Okay. And like I said, it's not serving, those old beliefs aren't serving who we're becoming. And it could also be contributing to lagging growth, to the loops. Having more and becoming more is really about how much and how fast you can shed the old beliefs. And that's just it. It's what made you who you once were. But we're not that person anymore, are we? So let's talk about the science behind it, because that's my favorite part. It's really interesting to see how the brain and the body work, how energy moves. Like, it's really cool. So let me show you. So repeated stress happens in the amygdala, which we talked about last week. it the amygdala tags the threat. It makes something, it tags it, puts a puts a little hashtag on it or whatever, and says, yeah, anytime you feel this, that's a threat. Um, I was trying to think of an example, but forget it. Then you got the hippocampus, which stores like the memory and context. It's like a file cabinet. It's kind of like compartmentalizing, but it does it based on where you were, when, how. It's like, you know how you hear a song and you can know exactly where you was when you heard the song last, or you know what I mean? Like, for example, whenever I hear Creep by TLC, I always go back to, I don't know how old I was, but I was sitting on the top of the steps and they was having an adult party in the basement, and that song came on and friends of the family get to fighting. They always was fighting, but they got to fighting, and it was very just like somebody was creeping, like something happened. And I just never, anytime I hear that song, that's my hippocampus. Yeah, it's a weird, I don't know why they had to name all of these things, all these, like, wasn't hippo taken? But it's called a hippocampus. But anyway, it's like your filing cabinet for your brain, and it's going to help essentially your body so it can recognize it later. And together, those two strengthen neural pathways. So I'm trying to think, did we talk about that last episode? I don't know. But neural pathways are repeated thought and reaction road, like a highway. It's a it's like it's like hmm. I'm trying to think of an example. I should have wrote one out. Neural pathways are like um okay, y'all, hold on. It's essentially like a highway. Like the more you, it's like a dog. It's like when you go hiking and it's like a paved road, paved pathway, and then there's like the pathway that's not paved, but it's been walked over so much that it created a path. It's like you get what I'm talking about? Like, I hope y'all don't go hiking. Like, just when you go in the woods and it's like you can tell people that walk right here, just any type of path, it like makes a path after a while because it's repeated footprints over. So now this particular area of the grass don't grow or what have you, or it's dirt, like it creates a path. That's neural pathways. It that's what repeated reactions and thoughts do for your brain. It makes those neural pathways, um, and that's why changing it means exposure. It means doing something again and again and again. That's why they tell you to do affirmations, because part of belief work is what you believe about yourself. Well, if you do affirmations telling yourself over and over and over, then you will start to change those neural pathways to automatically believe whatever you're saying about yourself. That's the same for any other belief or any other reaction or any other behavior. Once you start behaving differently over and over and over, then the new path, the new highway, the new path starts to form. It changes. So it's really cool. It's it's really cool. I get excited about explaining it, but I don't always feel like I explain things like a neuroscientist would. Like I like to put it in layman's terms and say the same thing without all the bullshit. And I call that homegirl neuroscience, okay? I trademark that. Don't try to take my shit. But that's essentially what I like to do on my TikTok. Is just layman's term it down. This what are we saying? That means what? Like I heard you. But what the fuck is that? You get what I'm saying? Like that's really my lane. And so your nervous system is your anxious attached partner. Okay? It's it would rather predict the worst than be surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like it would rather assume you were cheating while you were apart than risk being blindsided. You ever had somebody constantly just assuming stuff? They anxious detached. They always assuming stuff. You wasn't doing none of that. You were asleep. You weren't doing none of that. You was just at work. You was at your mama's house. Now you want to about your business. But they assuming the worst because they don't want to be blindsided. They don't want to go through the hurt that comes from that. So it builds beliefs that prepare you for what hurt you before, because they were hurt before. Your nervous system will rather predict wrong, okay, than be unprepared. Like I said, your nervous system is always going to make sense of something, even if it's wrong. It has to attach a meaning to everything. So your beliefs are protective predictions, but predictions are not always. I was about to say, is it still snowing? It was just snowing. Predictions are not always true, okay? Feelings are real, they're not always true. So the thing is, why don't we see the beliefs? Like, why is it not easy for us to see it? I know you were thinking that because I wrote it down. So here's a short answer for that. I think maybe short. You know what I mean? Beliefs feel like the truth. Like I said, feelings feel real because you're feeling it. You feel upset. You feel your heart beating. You feel whatever. But that doesn't mean it's true. It could have been triggered by something that happened 2 years ago. And you think you're making a prediction that it's about to happen again, and you don't know. And then you react to what you think is happening instead of reacting to what's actually happening in this moment. That's why meditation is important, because it helps you stay in the moment. It helps you put all the noise around you down, turn the volume down, and be in this moment. Not thinking about what happened back then. Yeah, that's important too, especially if we're taking the holistic route to healing. Belief work, core belief work, and somatic healing, including meditation. Ooh, I had to get it out. Is important. Your beliefs feel like the truth. They feel like your personality. They feel like that's just who I am. People tell me that all the time. That's just who I am. Old dog, no new trick. Every time I say old dog now, I think about J. Cole. But that song is true. Like, you can learn new tricks. You just have to want to. You just have to be committed to learning. It's not easy. You have to say, yeah, I'm going to do this work because I am enough. Being committed to something is self work. You're not trying to commit, and you don't want to show up and put in the effort because you essentially don't believe in yourself enough, especially if it's something to help you. You're comfortable because you don't want to do the work, because you don't think you're worth doing the work. You think you're worth mediocre things, but you don't think that you're worth all of the goodness that will come from you showing up for yourself and reprogramming your mind. And that's a whole different conversation. We'll have that another time. Catch me on TikTok. But that's not who you are. Personality is often just patterned nervous system responses. It's just a bunch of patterns ruling you, and not actually your thought for this moment. You're just doing, like, for example, as a smoker, you get home, you clean up a little bit, you do the necessities, then you slow down, um, you know, have your little garden break, okay, puff puff, no pass, and then you eat, zone out a little bit with some TV, then you go to bed. You wake up, do it all over. And it becomes a habit. You ain't even thinking about it. You grab one thing, then you know the next thing is coming. You're not even thinking about this moment. In this moment, you all mucusy. You don't even want to no more. But you're doing it because it's such a habit, such a routine part of your nervous system, such a pattern response to your nervous system, to relieving the day. We have to evaluate everything that we do, every single thing. And the picture can't see the frame while it's in it. You only see beliefs when you slow down long enough to question it, whether you are high or not. If you slow down long enough to question it, that requires regulation, real regulation, which is safety in your body. Because when you question a belief, your nervous system is going to feel destabilized. It's going to feel like, who are you talking to? It's going to, your ego is going to show up. No, that's not true. Man, they did that to me. Only reason I did that was because, like, I'm a good person. It's going to start trying to defend. That's exposure. You're now feeling exposed. You weren't ready for this. Your nervous system went, we didn't plan this. What is this? Is danger. You have to be ready for that response and override it manually, because exposure is just a new possibility. Exposure is helping you see a new possibility. Exposure is seeing yourself differently. I wear my shoes differently all the time. It takes a lot of healing to choose differently. That's what it says. That's what my brand says. It takes a lot of healing to choose differently. And this collection is called Groundwork. And I keep a little note right here on the sleeves, right sleeves, that says choose differently. Just for me, just to remind me, just so I can look down and see it. Somatically, when I'm upset, when I'm dysregulated, feeling that raised, what's this called? Embroidery is a great way to help me get back into the moment, you know? I also have pants on my pocket, on the left side where you put your hand in your pocket. It's same engraving. It just say choose differently. Just sitting here feeling that. That allows me to stay regulated, especially if I want to dig deeper. I need to stay regulated. It may not feel comfortable seeing myself differently. It may not feel comfortable to see myself how I am. So I have to do more work and put more practices around me at every moment. Exposure is realizing that the story may not be fully accurate, and that's okay. We just have to move accordingly now. We're not trying to shame anything or anybody. We just move accordingly. And if you're not regulated, you will defend the belief instead of examining it. That's a fact, because it's too much exposure. It brings too much shame. Okay? And when you defend the belief, you automatically reinforce it. Beliefs, the thing is, behaviors always speak to beliefs. Behaviors always speak to beliefs. We don't we don't realize it typically. I talk to people all the time that I have to stop myself. I have to wait for people to ask me to read them, or for people to ask me to show them themselves, because I used to want to do it all the time. I used to do it all the time. People weren't ready. They felt exposed, but they don't realize that I understand belief. I have pattern recognition, and I'm a behavior interpreter. So I know what certain behaviors mean automatically. Most people don't realize it. If somebody repeatedly, for example, if somebody repeatedly tolerates low effort, and don't feel judged in this moment, because I was somebody. I had to look at me and see this. If I'm repeatedly tolerating low effort, lack of accountability, inconsistency, that tells somebody trained in behavior interpretation that there may be a belief of low self-worth, low self-value. But you may not see it. The person living in it, it just feels normal. It feels like that's who I am. I'm an empath. I tolerate a lot. I have a big capacity for, I don't want people to feel that. And low value is also part of that. All of that could be another word for Like spiritually, yeah, you may feel that way, but it may be because you hadn't done the work to increase your value spiritually. You may not have known to do the work. You may not have known that your value spiritually could increase. You may have only saw it through acclamations and material things, but your spiritual value is your self worth. People can't see that, you know? So you may be accepting all of those low effort attitudes and behaviors and think that that's just who I am, but that's not true. And I had to learn that. That's not true. Beliefs dictate our boundaries. Beliefs dictate our standards. They dictate what feels normal, which is why we have to start choosing differently. Or else you're going to have to go through huge adversity and then change. And some people need that. You have to date a narcissist, go through abuse, overcome it, and then realize I never want to feel this way again. I never want to allow people to do this to me again. And some people will either close up, put the guard up really, really, really high. Nobody can come in now. Or somebody will say, hey, what in me attracted this person, allowed this person to get this far in, that they were able to do all of this rewiring to me. Now I need to put more boundaries in place. Now I need to increase my standards, and I need to be in places where it's normal for people to love on people, treat people kind, be go-getters, whatever it is. Two different mindsets. Which one do you have? We I told you this is not gonna be easy. This is not gonna be easy. We like to think that we just change, but most people don't. And it might not be you. You might be the one, okay? But most people do not look at their beliefs. For example, cheating may feel normal to somebody who has notoriously tolerated a cheater to the point where they're just like, as long as I don't see it, as long as I don't see it, whatever they're doing, as long as I don't find out about it, they're going to do. And you create this open gap to, or people that say, everybody going to cheat. Who the hell is everybody? Like it just depends on the person. It just depends on how much money. It just depends on blah blah blah. You tolerate a cheater. But someone who with internal standards that are high internal standards, high character, themselves and for the people around them, cheating feels like a violation. It feels like a crime. They wouldn't do it, they wouldn't put themselves in a position and be around people that tolerate it. So we change the belief to see the results show up in embodiment. You have to tell yourself, no, I don't tolerate cheating. If you cheat one time, that's it. I'm done. You have to stop tolerating that. Not, oh, I'm going to give it another chance. I used to feel that way. Like, I'm going to give you 3 chances because I wanted to give you time to change, to realize that, oh, this is a problem for me. Oh, I didn't realize that was a problem for you. Let me change. And then you slip up one time, so that's the second time, because you're not used to the change. And then the third time you out. But it's like even them 2 times is a little too much. It's a little too much. You have to teach people how to treat you. And the fact of the matter is we got to do the work. And I would still even say on certain circumstances, I would give 2 tries. But if cheating is my no-go, like you knew what the hell you was doing. I don't I'm not giving you no more chances. Like, oh, you cheat? Oh no. Sorry. Mm-mm. It was nice while it lasted. Yeah. And you stay blessed. And that's it. And we have to embody that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this type of work, it aligns clinically with practices like um, CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. I guess what it's called. It has something called core belief work in it, schema therapy, attachment theory, parts work, which we talked about in the last episode, um, where your younger part carries belief burdens. So, like, my lower Victoria, current Victoria is me today, and then higher self Victoria is who I'm trying to just automatically tap into. Whatever higher self say, I'm going to be able to be so disciplined that I just, boom, show up like that all the time. Right? So I develop my own words and processes and um, philosophies, but they also are scientifically backed by clinical practices of similar standards, names, what have you. They're essentially doing the same thing. It's just different metaphors, different, slightly different frameworks. But it's you create the language through lived experience is the underlining uh, identity source, essentially. But what I'm providing you, my framework, is your personal mirror for your self healing. This is where we start. Self authority without ego, self reflection, so important, without shame. Now, let's get into some tangible steps. So, how to identify your outdated beliefs. And I wrote down 6 steps. So, and I'm also going to give these 6 steps to you as your embodiment homework. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, your first step is identify one repeating reaction or behavior. One thing that you keep doing. Something that you keep doing, big or small. Big or small. Identify the initial why. Look at the behavior. Step 2 is identify the initial why. Step 3 is look at the behavior objectively. Step out and ask yourself, you know, ask yourself, what does this behavior say about the person behaving this way? Don't necessarily make it about you, but ask yourself, somebody acting like this, what does that say about them? And then step 4, identify the outdated belief under that. Step 5 is ask when this belief first felt true. When did I start behaving like this? Okay, we really have to dig deep on that. And then step 6, identify why the belief is outdated for you now. That really, why it's outdated means that you are connecting that belief to who you are becoming. And if you can see that, oh, nah, me, who I'm becoming can't act like this. It can't move like this. Who I'm becoming can't be out here just cussing all the time. Like I don't want to show up like that. I do cuss. Yes. Yes. Like to say a little, But at the same time, I can't just be out like I'm bigger than that. And I'm expanding more than that. So my old belief is just like, oh, we're just homegirl energy. It's true. And I'm cool with that. But at the same time, I have range. Sometimes, yes, we can kick the shit. But other times, I got to get into this work. I need you to understand what I'm saying. There will be no cussing. But sometimes we might get a little, but you get what I'm saying? The belief has to shift. You got to figure out why it's outdated, and then it will be easier to shift. And talk it out. I like to use voice notes. You can journal through each question, writing it out, or voice noting it. And then if you start to feel uncomfortable from the unraveling, sit still for a moment, okay? Because it's going to be a lot. But don't leave the process. It takes about 90 seconds for emotional waves to pass if you allow it. So all that going over it, getting over it, no, we go through it. You're gonna feel it. It's gonna make you feel like, oh man, I shouldn't have did this. I shouldn't have did that. Why did this happen? Why that? It's gonna bring up old memories. Sit in that. Sit in that. Hold something. Drink some water. Sit in that. Continue the thought. Allow those thoughts to come through. 90 seconds. Don't time yourself and let it simmer down. It's like a pot boiling. It's gonna come up fast. Let it boil and sit in that just for a moment. Don't try to think nothing new. Just let those thoughts float on by like clouds. Let the feeling rise. Mm, Picture a pot boiling if you can in that moment. And you'll get better at catching yourself in the moment to fix it. Because for the first few tries, you may feel the pot boiling and then stop the process. But remember your goal. Come back to it. Sit in that 90 seconds. The pot gonna simmer down. You're gonna continue to think through. All right, when did this happen? The first time it happened, your brain got to go through the whole everything that happened. Going through that whole process may bring up those memories. It may bring up that feeling. It may make your pot boil. Once your pot simmer down, continue to go through what happened until the end. Then you'll be like, they said this and it made me feel like this. And now if somebody says this to me, I overreact. You'll get there, okay? Give it 90 seconds. Commit to 90 seconds of uncomfortable consciousness. Clip that. Most importantly, start from a regulated state. Be calm, chill in your happy place where your choose differently hoodie is heavy. It helps you feel regulated. And then talk. You should feel safe all up and through your body and your environment before you start to dig into your beliefs. Okay? Regulate first. That's most important. And then what it takes to actually shift that belief, because beliefs don't just dissolve. The once the neural pathway is there. We can change it. We can create new ones, but it's still there. So if you're not practicing, because healing is an ongoing practice, if you're not practicing those new behaviors, once you become regulated, you'll falter back to that old pathway. Beliefs don't just dissolve. So we have to replace that energy with evidence. Okay? Behavior change requires repeated contradictory experiences, repeated experiences that tell you this belief is not true. For example, believing that you can't talk on stage, you afraid of public speaking, but then you keep going live every day and you keep getting good conversation, compliments of your conversation, what so have you. That's a contradictory to you thinking that you aren't a good public speaker. Regulated exposure, making sure you feel safe as you're doing your exposure. Consistent new behaviors, showing up and consistently doing new behaviors. Environmental upgrades, making sure that you feel safe in your environments. Emotional discipline. We have to be able to regulate ourselves. We have to be disciplined in our emotions. We have to be able to see it, let it float on by. Feel the emotion hit us, let it float on by. That is so important. And then building self-trust, which comes from self-authority. Building self-trust is self-authority. The only way that you're going to listen to yourself and really follow through is if you trust yourself to do it. If you've always attempted but never completed, then when it's time for you to show up in your business, your nervous system will be like, you're going to stop anyway. So it's going to be even harder for you to stay consistent. Your desire to be better has to be stronger than your desire to be comfortable in your current perceived peace. So, our homework. I'm going to give you some tangible steps for pillar 3. And we already kind of went over them. Again, step 1, identify one repeating reaction or behavior. Step 2, identify your initial why. Step 3 is going to be dig deeper by looking at the behavior again from an objective lens. Zoom out. Ask yourself, what does this behavior say about the person behaving this way? Okay. Step 4 is identify the outdated belief. Step 5 is going to be identify why the belief is outdated for you now so that you can begin to register in your nervous system that this is no longer serving me. That me doing every time you do it, your body's gonna feel like, ugh, girl, now you know you ain't hungry no more. And you know you don't need to hit that no more. And you know you don't need to be answering this phone. It's gonna be on your ass. It's gonna get annoying. And you're gonna start doing it. So you have to identify whatever that outdated belief is. And then step 6, come up with one small action that can contradict the old belief and implement it while you're regulated consistently. Consistently do it. Consistently do it while you're regulated so that once you're not regulated, it will become a habit. And instead of you responding the way that you used to respond, you respond in this way. Eat fruit after you know, garden, right? Eat fruit, eat fruit, eat fruit. So when you get dysregulated and you got to really zone out and you get to gardening and now you got the munchies, you don't reach for all of the chips and all of the store-bought food or the, fast food, whatever. You reach for fruit. You start when you're regulated. Now, doing this, we self-healing. Don't be afraid to ask ChatGPT to act as a psychoanalyst and help you identify the outdated beliefs. Based on your reaction, you give it. So you want to tell it everything and be open, tell it everything. But you're doing that not to replace therapy, but to help you be thorough on your own self-healing journey. And then if you need extra help, you take what you've done and you go get your extra help. But this right now, what we're doing is our healing journey, our holistic healing journey. Because we have to build habits while we're regulated to create muscle memory, and that creates structure for when we become dysregulated. So it's going to help you be thorough on your healing journey. Those small evidence through exposure is it's going to feel uncomfortable. Those small moments of exposure, they're going to feel uncomfortable, but you have to continue to do it. Make that your new loop. Okay? Now, we all here to become something different. You cannot become someone new while secretly believing the old story. Becoming requires repetition. Being, you have to do, be, have. So you have to do. This is what you do. And that you do it repeatedly. And that's boundaries. That's restraint. That's shedding old beliefs. Oh my goodness, one of my words for this year is shedding old, it's restraint. Discipline and restraint. I got to have it because I want to hit a new level. I want to start, I want all of my inner growth to start, you start seeing it outside. And you see it but I want you to see it faster. I want you to see more of it. I want you to see more of it. So it's like I'm putting in, I'm putting another gear up. So that shedding, that restraint, I know for a fact that's how you integrate. And then believing something new long enough for your nervous system to accept it. Believe that it's true. Stay on it. I have ADHD. I be forgetting to do stuff all the time. That's why I put sticky notes, alarms, because I'll forget about it and then go back to what's normal. But I really need to believe it long enough that my nervous system believes it. And it starts telling me, like I was telling you before, it'll start telling me, you said, nope, you said, I don't think we should be doing that. It happens. I'm telling you. Now, take a breath with me because that was a lot. So we got through it. If you made it this far, you go. You committed, and I know that you are going to see results. So I'm so happy for you. And tell me in the comments all about your results, about your goals. Make it real. So I'm going to inhale. Release all that energy. Release all that. Put a little sound to it. Let it get out. Don't make it pretty. Do it 2 more times. Let that go. And if this stirred up something within you, stay with that because that is where transformation lives. Subscribe so more people like you can find this space. Leave a comment so the algorithm knows this conversation matters. I believe it does. Let me know if it matters to you. Healing is a behavior, not a personality. It's not a personality trait. It is not who you are forever. You will grow if you want to. And I'm here to help. The change starts with how deep you're willing to explore yourself, how willing I'm able and willing to explore myself. Once someone sees outdated behaviors and beliefs, they cannot unsee it. So dig deep. This is healing in real time. Peace and healing, y'all. I'm out.